is everybody doing tonight? It is the first Wednesday of the month. It is the National Virtual Gathering for National Ladies Homestead Gathering. That's a lot of nationals and a lot of gatherings, but that's okay. That's what we do. So we are so glad all of you are here. And I know we're on a few minutes early, but as most of you probably already know, I'm going to do the drawing for last month's VIP attendees. Y'all know that I can't do that on the fly. I can do a lot on the fly, can't do that because I've got to compare. But you guys are already popping in the chat. We got Spokane, Washington. We got Ohio, Tennessee, Missouri, more Ohio, Idaho, Pennsylvania. You guys, I'm so glad you're here and y'all already know to put where you're from in the chat. I love it. Indiana, Colorado. Oh, they're just flying in. All right. So last month, this week, told you what I was going to give away for the VIP attendees. But I'm going to go over it again so you don't forget. If you were on and a VIP last month, then you are in the running for this. It's going to be an almanac. I'm almost done with my almanac, so no, I can't imagine anybody doesn't have an almanac by now. But 2 packs of these plant label marker things. And let me tell you, one thing that I have found out, that I have figured out trial and error when you're writing on these, use either, some people use a wax crayon, but if you're going to do something like tomatoes, or if you always plant the same kind of tomatoes and you don't want it to ever come off, use a silver Sharpie. Silver Sharpie. I don't know what it is about the pigment and the silver. The gold is not the same, has to be silver. Okay, so almanac, 2 packs of plant markers, and then if y'all remember last month, my ghost gloves. That's right, they're ghost gloves. It is a pair of, you can see the fingers, a pair of gloves, but they are green. So and my green screen messes that up. I've also got a trowel and a cultivator, but they too are matching the gloves. So they're kind of ghost tools. All right, so that's what I'm giving away. And if I don't hurry up, I'm going to be late getting started, and then Cindy's going to yell at me, and I don't like to be yelled at. So let me share my screen. And I apologize for those of you that are getting ready to go into convulsions because of how many tabs I have open. So I apologize in advance. VIP attendees. Okay, this is, if you are a VIP member and you attended last month, your name is on this list. Good luck to you all. This is my gardening bundle here, and our winner is dun, 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 Jennifer Deal. All right, Jennifer, I am writing your name down, and hopefully you put your address in when you registered, because that is what we are asking for. When we ask for your address during registration, Esther, I know it's so much easier just to have it all still up, but when we ask for your address in registration, the only thing we use that for is if you win a prize, that is where we will mail it. We will never send you junk mail. We don't even, like, I don't have time to record those addresses anywhere. I only look at them if you win something. I look it up, and there you go. So it is, it's 7:59. I finished early. So if you guys have not yet put in the chat where you're from, go ahead and do that, because I'm super excited to see where everybody's from. We've got people from all over the country. I know you guys like to see where everybody's from. Oh, I hear you, Rebecca, Columbia. Come on, South Carolina, represent in. So that's right. I'm in South Carolina, which is really cool. Actually, it hasn't been cool here the last couple of days. It's been in the 80s, which is like so hot. And tell me what your high was today in the chat. Tell me what your high temperature was today. Our high was 90 degrees today. So it is getting to be summertime in the South. And if you don't live in the South, you have no idea what that means. It means sweat and frizzy hair, because the humidity is just off the chain. I hear you, North Idaho's got 65 degrees. Idaho 71. Man, I need to be in Idaho Uh-oh, there was an 85 plus in Idaho. So y'all have a good range. Got 40s. Somebody was in the 40s, somebody was in the 50s, 60s. It's so crazy that we're all over the country and we have all these temperatures. And that's why we do regional breakout rooms. So after the National Virtual Gathering, once you get all this great information that we're going to have for you tonight, we are going to actually have the opportunity to go to a regular Zoom call where you'll be able to see everybody else. There are so many people. There were 210 people registered for this gathering tonight. Can you imagine how crazy it would be if everybody could see everybody and there were 210 people on a gathering? That's just insane. So we do breakout rooms at the end of the gathering. So we'll have the whole gathering and then we'll go to the breakout rooms. We break out our region so you can talk about the things that are specific to your region regarding the topic. So like tonight, we're talking about herbs. Well, maybe there's some herbs that don't grow in Washington State that grow like crazy here in the South. Well, the having the breakout rooms, you guys can talk about your herbs. We can talk about our herbs and, you know, seed starting, gardening, that kind of stuff is so regional. We want it to really be good. And I know our speaker tonight is going to be jumping from room to room like our speakers do. And I'm so excited she's agreed to do that. So that's the breakout rooms. And if you jumped on and saw we were kind of already in the middle of stuff, the gathering does not start until 8 o'clock. You're not missing anything. I do get on at 7:55 and do one giveaway that was pertinent to the last gathering because there's some comparing and contrasting that I have to do for the VIP members that attended. I have to look at the attendees report and compare it to the members report and all that stuff. And I just can't do it on the fly. So that's why we get started a little bit early, but you're not missing anything if you're not here until 8 o'clock. And so we are just now getting started. And speaking of the breakout rooms, we could not do these breakout rooms without our moderators. And I think Jesse is going to jump on and give a shout out to our moderators. Who are they this month, Jesse?
Absolutely. Our moderators for this month is the famous Cindy Ball, the wonderful Judy Winkleman, Julie Bowen, and Jane Dythorn. Thank you, ladies, so much. We could not do what we do without your help. I know I would lose my mind. Thank you so much for moderating our breakout rooms.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. We could not, we really, like, I know we say that, but we could not do this without you because we just can't. Because I can't be everywhere. Jessie can't be everywhere. She's got to be helping people get into rooms and moving our speaker around. And I've got to finish up here while you guys go ahead and jump over there. And so without the moderators, we could not make this happen. If you would like to be a moderator, and let me tell you, it's really hard to qualify to be a moderator. If you have attended one National Virtual Gathering and one breakout room session, you are qualified to be a moderator. There is no special qualifications. And really, like, what your job is just to keep the conversation going. So like, if you're talking, and then everybody's like, then just ask a question like, I thought this particular thing was interesting about our gathering tonight. What did you guys think? And like, just get that conversation going again. So it's not really, I mean, there's nothing to it. So super easy. And it helps us out a lot. If you would like to be a moderator, you can either throw it in the chat right now. Hey, I'll moderate for you. Or you can email us at media@nlhg.org. Look at that. Jesse's already got it in the chat for me.
Yes,
and just shoot us an email so that, and say, hey, you know, I think I want to do that moderator thing. So that would be great. So thank you, Jesse, so much for that. And thank you, moderators. Between Jesse and the moderators, I just don't know what I would do without all of you, especially Jessie, because she keeps me sane and keeps the moderators in line. So Cindy Ball, where are you? Where in the world is Cindy Ball? Forget Carmen Sandiego. We want to know about Cindy Ball.
Ball's in Montana, and today the sun is shining and it is 51 degrees here. And yesterday I woke up to 4 inches of snow, and it snowed for most of the half the day, I guess. But by evening, it was all gone. That's just how our springs roll here. So anyways, thank you all for being on here tonight. Super excited. Yeah, heat wave at 50, right, June? I know. It is crazy. It's still freezing in the morning when we get up, but we've had more snow this spring than I remember in the past. So it's been pretty interesting. And of course, all my plants that I started in my cabin have now gotten so leggy. I think I'm just gonna have to start over again, because we get days like this and it's like, oh yay. But then we looked at the forecast and we have, it's nice today, tomorrow, and the next day. And then we have 4 days of snow prediction. So the fun times here in the Rockies. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with my part. The purpose, why do we even have the National Ladies Homestead Gathering? It is to empower women through homesteading, which we have seen over and over and over again, the impact that homesteading can have on women. And how do we make that happen? Our mission statement is to share knowledge. And this, of course, is one of the segments that we do to share that knowledge with everybody. It's to build community. This is our online community. This one and our private online community for more chatting back and forth. But this is our virtual gathering so that we are inclusive of everybody in the country who would like to come to one of our gatherings and hear the knowledge that we have to share. And then lastly, which I've seen over and over and over and over again, in fact, my dearest friends are from this organization, and that is to grow friendship. So, and speaking of growing friendship and sharing knowledge and building community, we have something very exciting to share with you all tonight. It was a desire of mine, a dream of mine, to start doing retreats again, but bigger. And so we are working now on 2023, having 4 gatherings around the country. So it's the National Ladies Homestead Gathering. It's for a weekend, 2 days of classes and demonstrations and getting together and sharing meals. And my goal, and I've already got it set up for Ohio, but is to end all of these times that we get together for our gatherings with a square dance, because they're just so much fun. So anyways, the first one that we've got going is for Ohio, June of 2023. We will be getting more information out to you. If you are interested in getting the information on these gatherings that we will do, I'll tell you the state. So we're looking at Ohio, and I apologize if you can hear this massive bulldozer that's outside my cabin. It's still light here, and so they're still working. And I was like, great. They were on the other side earlier today, but now they're right in front of my cabin. So apologize. But the 4 states that we're looking at are Ohio, Georgia, Oklahoma, and Idaho. And this is for 2023. So if you're interested at all in getting information, make sure that you have signed up for our national newsletter. And you can do that by going to nlhg.org. Will they all be the same or different? We are, for the sanity of the committee, trying to keep them all the same. The one that I have the most information on, the one in Ohio, because we're trying to go where we have a big constituency of chapters. And so these are the 4 regions of the country where they will be. But that does not limit you to just attending the one in your region. If you've made friends with somebody on the other side of the country, or if you've always wanted to go to northern Idaho, which is absolutely gorgeous, then just plan. We're giving you a whole year to raise money and plan for your trip. So we're getting details out as fast as we can. So they will also involve a nationally known homesteading influencer. I can't give any names right now, but just know it's going to be pretty cool. And for those of you who are VIP members, those that pay a yearly membership fee, we will be offering special events for those of you who will be attending. So really fun stuff. Super excited. And we're going to start rolling out the information probably 4 weeks. So make sure you sign up for that newsletter if you're interested in getting the information for those. Okay. All right. Next, we have 2 more this month, 2 more book clubs to announce. We have our wonderful Ginger, who is our moderator for tonight, or our spokesperson. I don't know. You're just so good at this, at the job that you do there. She is going to be doing a book club on aquaponics. And then Miranda, who is not able to be with us tonight, but many of you know her because she always does our Atta Girl on here. She is going to be doing a book club on sustainability on small acreage and how to make the most of your the land or yard that you have. So those are the 2 book clubs that we will be starting for the month of May. Now, VIP members, it is free to you. Those of you who are not VIP members, it's $40, and then everyone is responsible for getting the books that they're going to be using in their book club. We will open registration. They are limited, so it's first come, first served. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you will be able to register for these book clubs, okay? And please, ladies, they do meet once a week. I don't know the length. Ginger might be able to give us more on hers, but please don't sign up if you're not sure, because you're taking one of the spots and tying it up if you're not sure you can make it to all of them. So please be considerate of that time frame and your commitment to that book club. But we're super excited. We're hoping to continue doing these book club for all of you. Okay, so we seem to get really good responses when we ask for help on here. And so I'm going to ask, this is my ask. If any of you are VIP members and you would like to run a book club, if you would, tonight, just for sake of ease, I'm going to have you do the media at nlhg.org. Thanks, Jess, so much for getting that up there. So if you're interested in running a book club, if there's a book that you just absolutely love and you think, oh my gosh, everybody should read this, and you want to help facilitate that, then email and Ginger will get them to me. It'll be media@nlhg.org. Okay. And then don't forget, if you're interested in our national gatherings around the country, go ahead and sign up for our newsletter at nlhg.org. Okay, I think I'm finished, Ginger, so you can have back this show.
Excellent. Yeah, I don't know. I think of myself as just a talking head for the
you're so
for the
good.
national gathering.
You're
all
good.
you see is my head. No, but yes, and I saw a few questions come through, and I will answer those real fast because I know the answer. Yes, Amber, the national in-person gatherings will be on different dates because there's only one Cindy Ball and she cannot be in multiple places. She's good at a lot of things, but she cannot be in 2 different places simultaneously. She is very skilled. That's not one of them. And then Judy asks, can I attend several? Judy, you can attend all of them if you want to. We would love for you to, and you will get to meet fabulous people. And, you know, even if the itinerary or agenda is the same, you guys know in different locations, there's going to be some different things that happen just by the nature of people. So if you want to go to multiple ones, then while we're making them the same, you know, none of us are robots. And so, you know, the speakers aren't going to be saying the exact same thing.
Well, the one thing I wanted to tell you too, part of the weekends include tours. And so like the one in Ohio, there's a lot of Amish things to see. And so it's going to be different in every state that we're in, what we focus on and like what the field trips and things like that will be. So, and hopefully different speakers in each one. That's what I'm working on, is just a different speaker for each one.
Yeah. So, and kind of along that note, we will, we do have one little poll about the gathering, and this is just to help us in the planning. So if you guys, I just launched that poll, if you guys will answer that question, how much would you be willing to pay for a 2-day in-person gathering featuring a nationally known homesteading influencer? And by that we mean, think of someone who is on YouTube and has like 500,000 to 1 million subscribers. So these are big names. This is not like Sally Beth, sorry if your name's Sally Beth, who has, 100 followers. This is somebody where if I said their name right now, you'd be like, oh my gosh, I've seen every single one of their videos. So, and this is just to help us with planning. This is not, doesn't mean, okay, Tanya's asking what it includes. It does not include lodging, but it does include dinners. So your nighttime meals, we're gonna have those included. And of course, as Cindy said, it's gonna include that square dance if we can fit it in by any means. So, but no, it does not include lodging. And we did that because we wanted to give you ladies the flexibility of having control over some of the cost. So, if you get a bunch of ladies together and you get an Airbnb, it could be cheaper. The poll is for the 2-day gathering. So all the classes, all the tours, your dinners, kind of think if you were going to a conference, that kind of thing. So, all right, I'm going to give you just 3 or 4 more seconds. I think pretty much everybody's gotten their answers in, and this is not locking anybody in. We're just trying to work on planning. So yes, the speaker is included in the fee. That's correct. So, all right, ladies, I'm gonna go ahead and end that poll. And we have one more poll for you tonight. And this just helps us as we go after more and more discounts and specials for our VIP members. This next question is something that will help us when we're describing our membership to these companies that we approach to try and get you some discounts. So which of these do you participate in? And you can select multiple ones. I think there's like 10 of them on there for you to choose from. So go ahead and click on the ones that you actually participate in. And I'll share the results of this poll so that you guys can kind of see where you fit with your cohorts, as far as like, hey, I'm not alone in, natural wellness and herbal medicine. Like lots of people do that. So give you just a few more seconds. I know that's kind of a lengthy list, but again, this helps us to be able to go to, Ball Canning and say, hey, look, right now the poll's at 91 for 90%. 90% of our ladies participate in food preservation. So how about giving us a discount, right? So yeah, all right. Is everybody in? Give a few more seconds. We've almost got almost 100% participation. That's great. 88% have participated, and 2 more seconds. And okay, so I'm going to share this with you guys so you can see there. Food preservation, gardening, of course, is super high. Scratch baking is high. Wellness and natural wellness and herbal medicine, that's also very high. So that's great. That shows you that you guys are not alone in all this crazy stuff that you do. I'm right there with you, and I'll go ahead and stop sharing that. And on the topic of natural wellness and herbal stuff, we have a fabulous speaker tonight. Suzanne Tabert is with us, and she is going to talk to us about herbal stuff. And she is an author. I've got 2 copies of her Wild and Beautiful book. It's an herbal encyclopedia for naturally healthy skin. I looked through it a little bit earlier. There's a ton of recipes. These are signed copies, y'all. I think that's so cool. but these books are beautiful, and I've got 2 copies. So everybody that attends tonight, you get a chance to win. If you are a VIP attendee, you get 2 chances to win. You have 1 chance tonight and then 1 chance at the beginning of next month's gathering. So, Suzanne, how are you?
I am fabulous, and I just want to say hi to everybody who's attending. I'm so excited to be here with y'all. Recently, somebody asked me, can guys attend the talk tonight, the gathering tonight? And I said, no, and you wouldn't want to, because think of it as a bunch of women in their she sheds. And the guy went, oh, okay, well, you guys, y'all have a good time. So I'm Suzanne Tabert. I live in North Idaho. So big shout out to everybody from North Idaho that are here. And, I love what Ginger was saying about giving discounts. I think that is such a fabulous idea. And those of you who are VIP members can take my in-person apprenticeship programs at a 10% discount. And the first one starts May 19th, which is a Thursday. And so we go every Thursday. I break them up in 4 weeks. So if you're interested in maybe joining that, just shoot me an email. You can find me on cedarmountainherbs.com, also on Instagram. And as my friend Sita says, facepalm. So Cedar Mountain Herb School. So I have so much to teach, so little time. So I am not doing that right. So I'm going to share the screen with y'all. Feel free to ask questions in the Q&A box. And I think somebody's going to help me out with that. So what I want to talk about today really is called the Quest for Calm. And, so many ladies, so many people on this planet are having such a hard time right now. And I know it started with COVID or, even before COVID, but COVID sure has accelerated a lot of anxiety and, emotional issues and stress. And so I'm here today to give you a little bit about what I know about how we can utilize the skills we have inside of us and herbal adjuncts and other things, lots and lots of options to add to our Quest for Calm toolkit. So we do have an innate ability to self-soothe and be relieved of stress and anxiety. And that really does allow us to live healthier and fuller lives. And our garden herbs are such good helpers. And the herbs that I'm going to be talking about tonight, most of y'all be able to, if not grow them in your garden, I think y'all will be able to grow all of them, but at least have a better understanding of what these herbs are about. And let's talk about just being in nature, being in the garden, being in the woods, going on hikes, or just even walks through your neighborhood. The plants speak to us in so many ways, and they speak to us their language of calm, peace, kindness, and joy. And really, I would just like to encourage you all to make friends with them, because there's so much to learn. They have so much to give, and they're really willing to do that for us. But before we get into the herbs and the other some choices that we have available to us, let's nerd out on a nerve cell. Woo woo. And the primary function of the nervous system is to collect a multitude of sensory information. And that means everything we see, that wasp that whizzes by us, everything, the leaf fluttering on the tree, everything we smell, everything, all of our senses, our nervous system collects that, processes it in our brain, interprets it, and says, have we seen that before? Have we felt that before? Have we smelled that before? Do we need to do anything about it? And then they send out messages to throughout the whole body so we can initiate appropriate responses to them. And that's just the basic idea, really, of what our nervous system is all about. The thing to note is that our moods are a function of our physical nerve strength. So if you ever say, someone's sitting on my last nerve, or I just feel so frazzled. We really can have frazzled nerves. And I want to call y'all's attention to these little, looks like little round jackets on this part of the nerve cell right here too. And that's called a myelin sheath. And there is an herb that I'll speak about later on in the presentation that actually helps us to produce that myelin sheath, which is the protective covering that literally stops our nerves from being frazzled. So if we have strong physical nerves, then our moods and our ability to cope with the day-to-day stresses, and then the bigger stresses, are just so much easier. So under normal circumstances, stress is essential to keep us safe and ensure survival, of course, like when our internet goes down, or, you know, being chased down by the proverbial saber-toothed tiger. It happens all the time. And that saber-toothed tiger can look like a bill that came in the mail that we didn't know about, that phone call. It could even be that spider that's chasing us down the hallway. But, you know, when we're anxious, our body can freeze in the survival state, even when we're safe, and trick us into believing we're in danger when we are not. And so that keeps up our cortisol levels, that keeps up our adrenaline levels, and that causes so many emotional, physical, mental issues. So anxiety truly is an emotion, and we can take, our brains take our outside stimulation and we subjectively interpret them through all of our past experiences. You know, have you ever been walking with a friend and, you know, all of a sudden someone jumps out and your friend goes, ah, it screams and jumps, you know, a mile up in the air, and you do not? Well, they may have had that experience where someone, you know, jumped out at them and really scared them when they were a little child. And so the brain held on to that experience. So then it's appropriate, and I'm saying that with, you know, my two fingers going like that, quotations, brain cramp, I couldn't remember what that was called. And it'll say that when somebody jumps out at us, it's always going to be danger. Now, you may not have had that experience, or when someone jumps out, you think it's, you know, funny as all get out. So, you know, it's really that subjective interpreting that can cause these physical symptoms of sweating and muscle tension, that racing heart or the fluttering heart, or wild thoughts and tunnel hearing that often accompany anxiety. And the good news is that we can rewire our brains from anxiety to calm. And I have this little phrase here: we can choose joy. And, you know, we hear that and we say, yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? And one day I was on a Zoom call with one of my girlfriends, and we were going over a class that we were going to be teaching together. And we both needed to take a quick potty break. And as I'm walking away, I can hear her singing, she was just singing and singing. And I thought, she just chose joy. And it was as simple as that. And you know what? That was really a game changer for me, because I realized the truth in that phrase. So before we get into our herbs, which we're going to explore in as much depth as y'all will allow me to, I want to talk about some other things that are really, really helpful. So pranayama breathing. Prana is our energy, our life force. Yama means to control. And when we practice this breathing, this controlled count breathing, and it could be 4 slow counts of, breathing in, and then you hold it for 4 slow counts, and then you breathe out for 4 slow counts, or you can do 6, or you can do 8, whatever is working for you. What we find out scientifically is that when we breathe in, our heart speeds up. When we breathe out, then our heart slows down, and it is as effective, this type of breathing is as effective as some anti-anxiety medications. And so, you know, if you're wondering, should I go on that medication? Should I not? And you don't know, it won't hurt to try that type of breathing technique. Where our awareness goes, our energy flows. And what does that mean? If I'm always thinking about my resentment list, my energy is always going to be stressed, or my anxiety level is always going to go out. So when we're thinking about things that maybe aren't to our best interest, you can pick whatever's going to work for you. Put up a big stop sign in your head and say, I'm not thinking about that right now, or distract yourself, or choose joy, or start singing a song, or go out and pet your little lammies, or your puppies, or the little chickens, go feed the chickens, and that helps. Meditation. As we meditate, tension leaves to reveal the calm and peace that is already there in our deepest soul. We're born with an inherent ability to be peaceful and calm. That's always within it. And the meditation isn't bringing that calm. The meditation isn't bringing that peace. It's allowing our tension to leave so that we can feel that calmness that's always there, saying, hi, I'm right here. I'm deep in, but I'm here. So affirmations are helpful to some people, like, I am peace, I am calm. And sometimes saying that over and over while we're meditating, or while in our head, we can say that while we're practicing our breathing. It helps to bring our awareness to the word peace and the words I am. Right? Does that make sense? So that can be very helpful. Talking things over with a trusted friend or therapist. It used to be that going to therapy was not something that you talk about, but now everybody's going to therapy because it is such a good thing to be able to unload with somebody who we can trust to listen and not take that anywhere else. We're not going to post it anywhere, and to be able to say, am I going crazy, or am I right to think that? And to just bounce these ideas off of somebody else is super duper helpful. So yoga allows us to let go of bodily tension. Something that I find for myself, if I'm over using my phone I'm looking at Facebook, and then I'm looking at Instagram, and then I'm playing a game, and then I'm texting somebody, what's going to start happening is I'm going to feel that kind of anxiety raise up in me. So if we can monitor the time that we're using on the computer, and we really don't have time to go into all the, the EMFs and all of that, but, take breaks if you're on the computer all the time, or if you're gaming, or if you're spending a lot of time, on social media. What I noticed on social media, on Instagram, you can put a time limit. And so mine is set for 10 minutes. And when 10 minutes are up, Instagram says your time is up. And you know what? That's so super helpful to me. I put it down, and then I don't pick it up again. Forgiving, I talked earlier about that resentment list. That person did that to me, and that person said that to me, and I wish I could have said that back. When we forgive, it doesn't give them permission to be, the little jerks they may be, or it doesn't say what they did to us was okay, but it frees us from a mental prison. And then as we forgive others, we're able to then let it go. Years ago, someone said to me, what others think of you is none of your business. And it took me a while to take that in. And still to this day, I've got to remember, that's none of my business what they think about me. I'm not here to please every person on the planet. Not everybody likes me. And whether I like that fact or not, that's the truth. And so how am I going to deal with that? I got to let it go. I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to let it go. And now look at one of my apprentices right here. And they're way out in the middle of nowhere. I'm making this bigger for y'all to see. Look at that. That's my apprentice, Jude, having such a good time. And as we spend time in nature, we get grounded. And this is in Washington State. I spent 42 years in Washington State, and I still go back there to teach, but I mostly teach here in North Idaho. Just taking people up there and watching the joy on the faces. Some of these people have never been out in the mountains like that. And it's just it's just wonderful to see how they free themselves from the strengthening anxiety that being at home or, on the farm or in the urban situation, wherever they live, being able to let that all go and just be in nature. And nature really does heal. It really does. And, the plants breathe out oxygen. And what do we take in? We take in oxygen. And what do we breathe out? Carbon dioxide. What do the plants take in? Carbon dioxide. And it's this exquisite exchange, this wonderful relationship that we can have with the plants. They're giving us the very breath of life, and we're giving the plants the same in return. Oh my gosh, I just got chills. I love that. I'm mostly a wildcrafter, so gosh, time out in the middle of nowhere is my happy place, no matter where it is. So to move on, water intake, dehydration really does contribute to anxiety. And if you think about it, there's so many things out there saying you got to drink this much, you got to drink that much. But if we drink an equivalent or take in the equivalent liquids of half our body weight in ounces. So if you're 140 pounds, 70 ounces. So that's really, just over, it's like a quart and an extra cup. Now, that watermelon you just ate, that counts as that liquid, or that cucumber that you are chewing on too, that counts as the liquid too. So we don't want to just pound water because, you do that, most people are going to say, well, that's no fun. So what can you do to add, what can you add to that water to make it more tasty? Are you going to do an herbal lemonade with maybe, an herbal infused honey? And, we're not dousing the whole thing with honey. We're just putting it in enough in there to make it be palatable, and a nice squeeze of a half a lemon, and then that makes that water just so much easier to drink and, sip it throughout the day. What we choose to take in can affect the state of our mind. And that includes, what we're watching on TV, what we're reading, what we're allowing people to say to us. And that definitely includes our music diet as well. So think about that. Oh, whenever I listen to this kind of music, I love this gal named Jay Jagdish. She has beautiful music, and she sings in Sanskrit, she sings in English, and it's just her music. Just I can listen to it at night before I go to bed, and it really helps me to sleep. So what is the music that helps you to feel more peaceful and calm? Our gratitude list. When we have an attitude of gratitude, our hearts literally relax, and we're much more open to receive infinite blessings, joy, and maybe some chocolate, which is always a good thing. So think about doing a gratitude list first thing in the morning. It can be in your head. You could write it down. You could start a journal first thing in the morning or last before you go to bed. You can put in just maybe 5 things. Maybe that day you're grateful for one thing. Well, you just hold on to that one thing. I woke up today. I am alive, and I am so grateful for that. I can breathe. My heart is beating. That's beautiful. I've got food on my table. My favorite sheep lamb today. Whatever that is, that the beautiful thing that person, you were in a store and, somebody let you in front of them in line. Write down that gratitude list. And then guess what? That ties back into our awareness. The more we're grateful for the things, the beauty that comes to you every day, our energy is going to flow towards gratitude and towards the more positive and the more taking down our stress and anxiety. And it literally creates new pathways into our brain and gets us out of those ruts of they did this, she said that. And so the personalized stress relief, what works for you? Make a list. Set your timer for 5 minutes. It's not very long, and just write a list. What are the things that help you to relieve stress or to feel happy or to feel cozy? For me, my list always involves flannel nightgown, sandalwood music, the smell of lavender, right? And then it goes on and on. And so after this 5 minutes, you can post that list somewhere and pick one thing a day and do that thing. Take that 5-minute walk. Go out and spend some time with your chickens. 5 minutes isn't a long time. And if you can't squeeze in the 5 minutes every day, try it once a week. And then all of a sudden you're starting to notice, well, actually I can practice that breathing for 2 minutes today. I have that because, after I drop the kids off from school at school, I can center myself with some breathing and notice how that starts to expand for you. And now let's explore some herbs. Oh, but wait, there's more. So there's a parable in the Bible about the seed and the soil that I find just very thought-provoking to me. And as I read about the farmer sowing his seed, it makes me think, what kind of soil do I want to sow the seeds of my life into? Do I want to sow seeds of gratitude? Or do I want to sow seeds of control? Oh, if I can get them to change, I'll be happy. If I can get them to do this, then my stress level will go down. If I can get my kids to clean up after themselves, it'll be the perfect world. Well, we can't always. So we have to think about our soil that we sow our seeds of calm and peace into. Vitamin deficiencies of the B complex, C and D, are linked to these common mental health challenges. Oh goodness, do any of these look familiar? Anxiety, oh, I just can't sleep at night. I'm just irritable. I can't concentrate. So, if we can take a B complex, we can take in vitamin D, we can take in vitamin C, all very wonderful. But we can also utilize these nutrients in the foods that we eat. And for me, one of my favorite ways to get my B vitamins is nutritional yeast. And I sprinkle that on just about everything. So I put it on my rice. I put it in my pesto instead of Parmesan cheese. I can't eat popcorn, but you know what? Because I'm allergic, but I break up rice cakes and then pour a little melted butter over the rice cakes and then sprinkle on my nutritional yeast. And I just feel so good when I'm eating that. And here is a recipe for a dairy-free Parmesan cheese. And I'm wondering if you all want to take a screen share of that, or not a screen share, you can take a picture of that to get that wonderful recipe. Oh my goodness, this is something that I just love. And it's walnuts. Walnuts are calming to our brain, right? Almonds are, and hemp seeds, they're all good oils that our body needs to make hormones, to run our bodies, everything, all the activity. And then we add nutritional yeast, onion and garlic powder, cinchi. Put it in a food processor and you pulse it until the texture is of grated Parmesan. You store it in an airtight container in the refrigerator. How long does it last? I have no idea because I eat it really, really fast. So the herbal adjuncts, there's so many ways to get the herbs into the people. And my motto at the Cedar Mountain Herb School is getting the medicine to the people in ways they'll delight in taking so that healing can occur. Not everybody can take tinctures. That's an alcohol extraction of the alcohol soluble chemicals in the plant. So how else are they going, or somebody who chooses not to use alcohol, how are we going to utilize these plants? For the person that's only drinking Mountain Dew and thinks that tea is yucky, how are we going to get this medicine in the people? And sometimes the people is ourselves. So let's talk about nettles. So nettles themselves aren't necessarily what's called a nervine or something that supports the nervous system. However, it does contain nerve feeding and soothing calcium, magnesium, and potassium. Potassium helps us to have a strong, steady heartbeat, helps if we have restless leg syndrome. Potassium and magnesium really help with that, and it's very calming. Calcium is what our nerves feed on. So we need calcium-rich food in our body, and nettles is just one of a beautiful nutrient green food that builds blood and tissues and does so much for us to help. And one of the best things that I love about nettles is it helps to reduce stress-related inflammation. So if you've ever been so stressed out that you feel like you wake up the next day and you're like, I've got sausage fingers and my ankles are a little bit swollen, what's that all about? Well, stress creates inflammation in the body. So nettles help to mitigate or reduce that. One of my favorite ways to use nettles is nettle butter. What? Now we're going to get fresh nettles before they flower, because once they flower, they're no good for our digestive system and our kidneys either. So before they're flowering, take a screenshot of this. And this is me making nettle butter earlier. Now here in North Idaho, our nettles are just starting to pop up, but I teach over in Washington. So back in March, I went over there and harvested nettles with a bunch of my students, and I brought some home, and look at that beautiful Kerrygold butter and some garlic cloves. And I put in some extra virgin olive oil in my crock pot, and I just let it go for about 3 hours. And this is what I ended up with, this green butter that tastes so good. And then when I strained it out, I had these little nettle bits. And that night I made a pizza, put it on the pizza. My husband said that was the best pizza he's ever had.
Suzanne, somebody's asking, can you use dried nettles?
Dried nettles, yes. Not to make the butter, no, but you can do dried nettle tea for sure. And the anti-inflammatory properties are still intact in the dried. So Ginger, let me know, because I could do this for the next 5 hours. So you're going to have to watch my time and kind of give me a heads up. Okay.
Yeah. So we have about 10 minutes really before we need to get into Q&A. I know.
All right. Oh my goodness. So ashwagandha, I'm going to go real fast then. Ashwagandha can reduce anxiety disorders when taken consistently and plays an important role in calming the mind in crisis. So when something just happened, I don't know, whatever that is, and we're just like, I'm so stressed out right now. Ashwagandha says, woo, let's calm down, and imparts a feeling of deep peace that surpasses all understanding. And we utilize the roots. It grows very well all over the country. In my area, it's and actually most of the country, it's going to be an annual, and it pops up and grows. One thing you want to make sure is put it in a very, very sunny spot. So I have dark chocolate, ashwagandha, lavender truffles. Take a screenshot of this. I can guarantee you this is the best taste in the world. If you don't do a screenshot, or for some reason you don't get the PDF of the presentation, which by the way, the VIP members are going to get this presentation. So you'll get all of this information here. On my website, cedarmountainherbs.com, I have just a basic herbal truffle recipe, and you can just add all kinds of powdered herbs to it. Okay, motherwort, Leonuris cardiaca. The botanical name for motherwort, that Leonuris cardiaca, literally means lion-hearted. And it helps us, when we're so stressed out, or we're in a constant state of anxiety, we can become real timid or second guess ourselves, or literally curl up in a ball. And motherwort, it's the plant of the mother. Wort is an Old English word for plant. So it's the plant of the mother that says, I love you. I'm so glad you're here. Let me give you a hug. I'm just going to help you calm down. It quells the rising panic, of an anxiety attack. And it just kind of helps. It's that warm hug that we may be missing in our lives that we're not getting from, our own mothers for one reason or another. It grows really, really well. It's a mint. And so anywhere y'all are, you're going to be able to grow motherwort. If you're in North Idaho near me, I've got a bounty of motherwort babies coming up. So hit me up. You can come over to my little farmlet and get some. So here's how to make a motherwort tincture. Oh gosh, it really does do a good job of taking the edge off of stress and anxiety. And my menopausal friends, it cools down the hot flashes. This is my friend Sita, who's also my meditation and yoga teacher. So borage, Borrego officinalis, a very prickly plant, but it helps us to become more courageous in our lives again. And then, with the motherwort and the borage together, borage, oh my goodness, one year you have some, and the next year you have oodles and oodles and oodles of borage. And I utilize the whole plant. And if you get it before it seeds, then, you're not going to have 50 million borage plants. You're going to want to wear the garden gloves because they're very prickly. You can see these prickles and they hurt, let me tell you, when you're trying to harvest them. I love to make a tea. Women who are lactating mamas who are so stressed out that their milk is not coming, then the borage actually helps to bring on abundant, beautifully nutritious breast milk for the little babe. Helps us to calm down. Lemon balm, Melissa officinalis, sweet Melissa, lifts the spirits and brings the sunshine back into the soul. Oh. And we, again, in the mint family, if you have one lemon balm, you're going to have it everywhere. So I love making a lemon balm infused honey. The directions are right here. One of the things that's really important, if you're making a tincture, an herbal vinegar, or a honey oxymel elixir, really mince up those plants. I call that opening up the doors and windows. And then the menstruum, which is the liquid that's pulling out and preserving those beautiful nutrients and medicine, is going to be more easily able to do that. So, Pinterest and Instagram is all just packed full of jars of herbs with whole leaves and whole cloves of garlic and whole this and whole that, but you're not going to get a lot of medicine because all the doors are closed. So just a little pro tip for you there. Lavender, woohoo! So lavender isn't just a wonderful smelling plant. It calms the mind that's moving too fast in too many directions and helps you to be able to focus. When your mind is spinning and you feel like I'm losing my grip on reality, lavender helps to ground. It helps to quell those feelings of anxiety and panic. And it helps you to just focus on one thing at a time. Yay. And here is my recipe, which is for my calming lavender and chamomile cream. My book, Wild and Beautiful, has a section on moisturizers, how to make creams and salves and things. And so this is my basic recipe, but I've just added the lavender and chamomile to it. Speaking of chamomile is a safe and effective sedative. It's a soothing nervine, used to reduce the effects of stress, anxiety, and panic. And it's also anti-inflammatory. Do you remember Peter Rabbit? He went into Farmer McGregor's garden where he wasn't supposed to go, and he almost got caught, and he lost his coat, and he went running home, and he was so upset he had a stomach ache. And Josephine Rabbit, his mama, gave him some chamomile tea. And look at this. This is my husband harvesting chamomile with the berry picker. So there's another pro tip for you. It can be just so meditative. I love that. Gosh, I wish I could speak about each one of these plants for at least 8 hours. So here's the recipe screenshot opportunity for my oat and chamomile muffins. Oh my goodness, they are so good. And don't forget, if you're a VIP member, you will get this PDF. So hawthorn and wild rose, and in fact, the little known secret, all of the plants in the rose family give you that feeling of hope and faith that eventually everything will be okay. So it kind of allows us to, well, it helps us to walk through that struggle. It doesn't make everything okay, but it tells us, I'm going to be with you every step of the way, and I'm going to take the edge off. I'm going to help you feel that your wounded heart, your broken heart will heal. And as we're healing our broken hearts, then we can walk other people through it, because we haven't just survived, but we're moving from surviving to thriving. Oh, hawthorn, I love you so. So oats, speaking of oats, we can just toss out seeds mid to late April, maybe May. I haven't tossed out my oats yet, but by July, August, they'll be ready. Remember early on at the very beginning, I talked about that myelin sheath that protects the nerve cells, the axon of the nerve cell. Oats will go right to a little cell that's right next to that nerve cell called a glial cell, and in particular a Schwann cell. Its sole purpose is to make that myelin sheath and just roll it out and have it roll around that nerve cell. And oats say, hey, glial cell, let's get going on making some of that myelin sheath. And again, if we have strong nerves physically, then our emotional frazzled nerves are healed as well. And there's more nerve soothing calcium in the straw, so in this part, than the tops. So mugwort, really all the artemisias, you know, sometimes we just want to take a break, right? Oh, all the stuff, I'm so stressed out, all of the things. Mugwort kind of gives you that break. It kind of gives you a floaty feeling, perfectly legal, by the way. And it just, you know, it kind of takes you off on, I don't know, on a cloud or on a rainbow, and it cools down that stress related anger or rage that we may be feeling, cools the liver. And it's just really one of my favorite herbs. Some people call it the dream herb, but I call it the let's cool down, let's take a break, and let's just float. Like Calgon, take me away. I'm kind of dating myself, but back in the 70s, there was a commercial call, and they would say, Calgon, take me away. And there was the mother in her bath. And the mugwort is kind of like that bath that allows us to calm down. So here is my Nourishing Nervine Mineral Bath Soak. Speaking of taking a bath, take a screenshot of that. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to move on to catnip and catmint. Two different plants, both in the mint family. Catnip, Nepeta cataria, grows tall, you know, 5-6 feet tall or more. And it can be used fresh, it can be used dry, and it promotes calmness by a terpene, also known as an essential oil called Nepeta lactone. Calm. And anxiolytic means it takes away anxiety, and a polyphenol is a type of antioxidant. So rosmarinic acid is anxiolytic, and any herb that subdues anxiety really truly is a favorite in my book. Catmint, just a low growing kind of a shrub, smells so beautiful. And I get 2 or 3 cuttings. I cut the thing down all the way about midsummer, and then, you know, late summer again. I cut it down and I make swags and I make wreaths. And this is a picture. We had a blessing way from for one of our apprentice groups. This gal was pregnant, and we all made our little crowns of, we started with the catmint and then put in all kinds of herbs in it. And boy, I can tell you, the smell is so amazing. Now, herb popsicles, what a delightful way to get the medicine to the people in a way that they'll enjoy taking. So this is another screenshot, or you'll get the PDF. I love herbal popsicles. I love making them. in the summer and any time of the year, and I'm tailoring them for the medicine to what I need them to do. Do I want to make an antiviral popsicle? Do I want to do a calming popsicle? And here, I know someone sent in advance a question, where do we get our herb starts and seeds? These are some of my favorite. Here's another screenshot opportunity for you. I'm a member of the United Plant Savers, and their mission is to protect native medicinal plants in the United States and Canada. So check them out. They're just absolutely wonderful. And Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds, I'm sure a lot of you are already aware of them. Wonderful, wonderful seed sellers. And then Richter's, tried and true. So lastly, here is another affirmation. I am neither the ripples at the surface of the sea, nor yet the crashing waves. I'm the vast ocean deeps, unaffected by mighty surface storms, untouched by any superficial change. So, this is something to print out and put on your wall, have it in your purse. And every time you're feeling ripply, just remember that you can access that deep calm that's within you at any time, no matter what is going on around you. So I just want to thank you all. I think that's all the time that I have for my presentation. My gosh, I'm getting a page put on my website with all my herbal labs. We did 12 herbal labs over the winter online, and all my online classes are going to be offered for sale on my website. It might take a couple of weeks yet to get them up because my website guy is really super busy, but it comes with the recording and the PDF as well. So there you have it. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And again, if anyone's in the North Idaho area, my in-person classes start this month in just a couple of weeks.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. I did just let you go, and I know you ladies don't mind getting all that great information. There are a few questions I'd like to have you answer. If you could just keep it as brief as possible. Can you use wild chamomile in the recipes?
Yes. So are you talking about the pineapple weed? Now there's one called mayapple that's so bitter, it's hard to deal with. But the pineapple weed that grows along the sides of your roads there, your driveways, and you squish that and you smell it, it smells like pineapple. That is a cousin to chamomile, and it is just as anti-inflammatory and just as calming as well.
Suzanne, I'm in Montana in the Rockies. And so that's what they called it, was the wild chamomile. Is that pineapple?
I don't know. I would have to see a picture of it to tell you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. A lot of common names out there can be, one common name could be for 4 or 5 different plants. So I really would need to see it first.
Okay, thank you.
For the recipes with the nettles, is that just stinging nettle, or does that include the dead nettle as well?
Oh, I just use the stinging nettle because that's the one that is so anti-inflammatory, packed full of all those wonderful nutrients, the calcium, magnesium, potassium, also really high in iron, my friends, as well. So if we're feeling really fatigued, it might be we're low in iron, and nettles, the Urtica dioica, the stinging nettle, contains high amounts of iron that the dead nettle really doesn't. Now, dead nettle is in the it's in the mint family, so it's a whole different family of plants, and it contains a lot of calcium, so you can use it. It's just going to be a different action.
Okay, and Tanya's asking a follow-up on that. Does the stinging affect the throat when you eat them?
If you eat them fresh, it sure will. But you think about it, the nettle doesn't sting itself, does it? Because you can walk near a nettle patch and you're not hearing the nettles go, ow, 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 because it's not stinging itself. And it has these hollow hairs all around the plant, top of the leaf, under the leaf, all up and down the stem, and it contains neurotransmitters called, oh gosh, what's all in there? My mind it's escaping me right now. Histamine, it contains histamines as a neurotransmitter, and formic acid, tartaric acid, and one other acid as well. And those neurotransmitters are, they're involving in that pain transmission, but then those acids make it last for a long time and really welt us up. But inside of the nettles themselves, they have two lactones called asculetin and scopoletin, and they're base. And so when we put our nettles, fresh nettles to make pesto, and we have it in the food processor, that scopoletin and the asculetin are released, and they completely neutralize that sting of the nettles. So I would say I never blanch my nettles before making my pesto, because I find the fresh nettle pesto is a much more effective anti-inflammatory than a blanched nettle pesto. But I'm not going to put it in my salad, I can tell you that much. Woo.
Okay. And then as far as nutritional yeast goes, do you have a recommendation for someone who is allergic to yeast that might be an alternative to the nutritional yeast? And what brand of nutritional yeast do you recommend?
Well, I get Bragg's, because that you can find that pretty easy. If you go to that big company with the letter starting, you know, it begins with the letter A. There's all kinds of good organic nutritional yeast you can get. B vitamins are in a lot of other foods as well. So ask Uncle Google, just type in food sources of vitamin B, and you'll get this whole list. And it could be some of the very plants that you grow in the garden.
And if someone were allergic to lavender, what would be a good alternative for the lavender chamomile recipe that you gave for the lavender part?
Well, just don't put in the lavender. Just have it be the chamomile muffins. Yeah, chamomile muffins by themselves would just be lovely. Or you can add chamomile lemon balm. So nice together. They can really, really complement together. Perfect. And there are already oats. There are already oats in that recipe. So it's just it's a yummy, yummy recipe.
Thank you so much. Ladies, we obviously have run over, but we're still going to finish up like normal, and we are still going to open up the breakout rooms for those of you that want to go. I know it's getting a little late here on the East Coast, but we don't want to take that away. We didn't we wanted Suzanne to be able to get all her wonderful information out, because she did such a great job.
Thank you.
So there's a few things I want to just touch real fast before we do our giveaways. There were a couple of book club questions that came through. The registration will open up tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And you can find that information on our online community, which is community.nlhg.org. It's a lot of words, but it's our private online community. You can join us there. Great unrestricted conversation about all things homesteading. Miranda's book club, I'm pretty sure it's going to be 10 weeks long, and mine is going to be 11 weeks, but it's going to span 12 weeks because I'm going to be out of town 1 week of those. And sorry, guys, I'm going to be on the beach. I'm not going to be doing book club that week. So 10 or 11 weeks. Miranda, I think, has found a discounted version of her book, and I know the book that I'm going to be using is free. It's a free download. So, and you'll get all that information if you register, and they may even put, I'm sure they're going to put what the books are, and I'll ask that they put the link to the aquaponics book, so even if you can't do the book club, you can still get the book. Okay, got to do a couple giveaways, because you know I love them crazy like that and like to give stuff away, but I'm going to do them real fast because I know we're already over time. So let's just do this real fast. Again, I apologize for all the tabs that are open. I know that drives some people absolutely batty. All right, so all attendees. No, let's do all VIPs first. All VIPs. If you are a VIP member, if you were a VIP member before this started, I can't do anything about if you joined during the video, but or during the gathering. I'm gonna do my typical bundle magazine, and I know one more almanac. I think this is my last almanac though. So good luck to you VIP members. All VIP members are in this giveaway. Every single one of you VIP members, and our winner is Christina. Christina, congratulations. And I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name because I'm sure I will slaughter it. But this is a good example. Christina doesn't have a local chapter, and just because you don't have a local chapter in your area doesn't mean that you can't join us as a VIP member, because you still get all the perks. Even if you don't have a local chapter, you get all the perks, the discounts, the discount codes, the discounts on registrations for events. You get the extra giveaways, you get all kind of stuff. So don't let it stop you just because you don't have a local chapter. All right, next, this is all attendees, and this is a copy of Suzanne's book, an autographed copy. And again, I'm going to give away a second one of these next month at the beginning at 7:55 in June, right before June's gathering. So if you are a VIP member, you are on this list if you attended tonight. If you are a VIP member and you attended tonight, you're on this list and you'll be on the list. So if you are a VIP member, you get 2 chances. Now, if you are not currently, as I'm talking right now, a VIP member, I don't run my list. My list only runs by date. So as long as you join us as a VIP member by midnight tonight, when I run the list for next month, you'll be on the list. So you can actually get a second chance to win this. But let's give away the one right now. This is all attendees. Everybody that was here tonight was on this list. Good luck winning this book. And our winner is Deborah Stone. Deborah, congratulations on that. All right, so we are, like I said, we're still going to do our breakout rooms. I want you all to have a chance to do that. So let me put the breakout link here. I just want to say thank you so much to everybody that showed up. I'm getting ready to do the breakout stuff, but if you're joining us afterwards, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next month.